All right. So new entry. This is the DB podcast, the Dark Podcast. When you gaze into the abyss, when you gaze into the abyss gazes back into you, and with whatever is within the darkness shines within the light. All right. So manipulating and sanity. What does it have to do with sanity? So what manipulating has to do with sanity. Once again, is that these forces. Okay, what they like to do, these fallen ones, is that they'll use others' vessels in their minds if they even still have one, okay? In their souls if they even still have one. And they'll siphon that energy, basically harvest it, which is basically channeling others and energy, others' core essence, whatever's left of their ancestral energy, ancestral uh, souls, ancestral soul essence. Okay, and they will basically utilize that to manipulate you through thought, ether. Okay, which is information. Okay, so thoughts exist within the fourth dimension and above. Okay, so within the fourth dimension and above is complete telepathy. It's not vocal, it's just sound. So what is sound? Once again, frequency, vibration, and tone. But it's also radiation. When we hit the fifth dimension, now it's radiation. So radiation is basically vibration, but with light. So it's the vibration is added to radiation is radiation is added to it, and then it becomes light source energy. Okay, so because everything in the lower dimensions is actually what holds light, and everything in the higher dimensions is where light kind of just doesn't need to be held, it just exists. But it appears the opposite when you're in the lower dimensions. So to them, it looks chaotic, it looks destructive. So that's why they refer to nature as a chaotic force. No, it's not. It is very natural, but because they've lost connection with the Almighty God, they don't perceive light as in its purest form. They perceive light as pure darkness because they're not able to basically see what exists without having the core, the essence to exist itself, because essence is what allows you to exist within all dimensions and all realms, and they don't have access to all dimensions and all realms. So the ones that they don't have access to anymore appears as darkness, and the ones they do have access to appears as light, which is why they exist in the realm of light, which is the third dimension and beneath, or lower than that, as what you would refer to as, but it's actually just shallower. Okay, cool. So they use telepathy or whatever, a vessel, a mind, or soul that has been basically hijacked, okay, manipulated, okay, successfully, unlike you, if you are not, okay, currently right now as you are processing this message, they use that to send whatever what you believe to be called negative thinking patterns, that they are manipulating others into thinking about, so that it can hit your auric field. How this works is that those, whatever they're thinking, is sent out like a radio wave, okay, through the sound barrier. And the sound barrier is basically the auric field, or Schumann resonance, or the environment, the atmosphere around you. And when sound hits something, it bounces off of it and comes right back. So what's happening is that it's bouncing off of your auric field, but sometimes it can penetrate it if you respond, react, engage, interact, any of that, to those thoughts. Thoughts are not yours. What you're thinking is yours. Whatever you're thinking is your ancestors, the Almighty God, messaging you, basically. And you are manifestation of the Almighty God. So that is why basically you're the one who's thinking, and the Almighty God is the one who is thinking through you as you, because you are the reincarnation of your ancestors. You are your ancestors. Watch it. Get it? Okay, cool. You got it. You already did. You just now remember. That's all. Anyways, so what happens is that when it penetrates your field, now that sound waves, that radiation, that radio wave through which is basically light thoughts, traveling at the speed of what? Light, okay, begins to attach to your aura field, and that's when the sound barrier, which is your aura, which is your aura field, breaks. Okay, there's a crack in it, and then it goes into it, and it starts to vibrate within your sound barrier. So there's a misconception about how auric field works. Auric fields are not like a solid bubble or some shit, like a solid sphere. It's not that. It's actually an active sound wave or radio wave. It's radioactive, and it's constantly emitting what you refer to or believe to be called sound waves. And that's basically, if you need a picture of what that looks like, that's basically a radio wave, and it's basically sound waves emitting constantly. So emits out, and then it goes right back in whatever it bounces off of the field, which is your soul. So whenever your spirit emits information, or in other words, as you are thinking, whether you are thinking consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously, because you're constantly thinking, whether you realize it or not, it basically hits your soul, and your soul receives it, and you begin to think about what it is that you already know within you to be true, and then it comes right back to you. And then it goes right back to your core, to your center, the Almighty God, your ancestors. So, and then it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and that's how your aura works. It's a sound wave, and it keeps just going out, outwards, inwards, which is what you refer to as a heartbeat within your vessel. Okay, your digestive system, your guts. Okay, your brain waves. Get it? Okay, cool. Your bowel system. See how that works? Sound barriers, your bowel system, brain waves, radio waves, heartbeat, boom, 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 in and out. Get it? It's the same thing. So whenever you react and respond and blah, 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 what happens is someone else's radio waves of whatever vibration, tone, and frequency that's within that radio wave attaches to yours. Their light goes back to them, but whatever's within the vibration, frequency, and tone, the sound barrier, their sound barrier enters. Well, not enters. Basically, you believe it's entering yours because it feels like you begin to feel it, and whenever you think it's yours, that's when it becomes attached to you. It becomes parasitic. It starts to drain your energy, and that's their tactics: to drain, harvest, siphon, which is basically the same thing, and possess. So whenever they possess, which is basically successfully manipulated a soul, a mind, and a vessel, and sometimes, and no, not sometimes, in some cases, even its spirits, its ancestors, and basically fully corrupting that entire sound, what happens is it's able to basically manipulate that creative energy, that pure life force energy, is what you believe it to be called, for its own, to utilize it for whatever corrupt, cruel, insane reactions and shit, will and desire and intentions that it has, that it is not able to manifest for itself. So it manifests it through others or you. Period.